In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 MLB games happening on May 8, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Baltimore Orioles versus Minnesota Twins. The Baltimore Orioles will wrap up a 3-game road series on Thursday against the Minnesota Twins, with the final matchup taking place at Target Field. The series opened on Tuesday with a tough 9-1 loss for Baltimore, who's now dropped 3 in a row and finds itself in last place in the division, 6 games behind the top spot. Minnesota, on the other hand, has won 3 straight after that Tuesday victory and sits just above Baltimore in the American League Central, trailing the division leader by 6.5 games. Things haven't gone well lately for the Orioles. They've dropped 10 of their last 14 games overall, and when they're away from home, they've only managed 1 win in their last 9 road contests. Meanwhile, the Twins have been tough to beat at Target Field, winning 8 of their last 9 games there. Injuries have hit the Orioles' pitching staff hard. 12 pitchers are on the injured list, which has left them dead last in the league in earned run average and opponents' batting average, and second worst in WHIP. The Twins have fared much better on the mound, ranking 9th in both earned run average and WHIP. Dean Kremer will get the start for Baltimore. He was sharp in his last outing, giving up just 3 hits across 7 innings in a 3-0 shutout of Kansas City. But outside of that performance, Kremer has struggled with consistency. He allowed 10 earned runs over just 11 innings in the 2 games before that. Minnesota counters with Joe Ryan, who's quietly having a solid season. He sports a 2.92 earned run average and a 0.9 WHIP, and is coming off 2 strong starts in a row. Over those 2 outings, Ryan has thrown 13 innings, allowed just 1 run on 8 hits, struck out 19, and walked only 2. He's been steadier than Kremer overall, surrendering 1 run or fewer in 5 of his 7 starts so far. Like I mentioned yesterday, it might be time to just call it what it is. The Orioles aren't a good ball club right now. They've dropped 11 of their last 15, and their pitching has been getting rocked. Playing again on short rest probably doesn't help either. Kremer hasn't inspired much confidence. He's allowed 43 hits and 24 earned runs in just under 38 innings, and his road numbers are even worse, with an 8.17 earned run average and a .330 batting average allowed over 25.1 innings. No thanks. Meanwhile, the Twins are rolling with 4 straight wins. Bailey Ober has been on a tear, giving up just 3 runs over his last 19.2 innings. He's got a 2.76 earned run average and has been effective at home, where opponents are batting .258 against him in 16.1 innings. This doesn't look like the right spot for Baltimore to try and turn things around. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Twins money line is our full game side pick. Both starting pitchers are coming off solid outings, but scoring hasn't exactly been the strong suit for either of these teams. The under has hit in 10 of Baltimore's last 13 games, and in 7 of their last 10 games against American League opponents. Minnesota's been on a similar trend, with the total staying under in 5 of their last 7 overall and in 14 of their last 20 against American League teams. Offensively, neither team has been lighting it up. Minnesota ranks 18th in runs scored, while Baltimore sits at 23rd. Baltimore's lineup just hasn't produced this season, and now they have to go up against Joe Ryan, who's been one of the more efficient starters in the league. He's carrying a 2.93 earned run average with a 0.9 WHIP, a 4.7 to 5 strikeout to walk ratio, and opponents are hitting just .209 off him across 7 starts. The Twins should have a good opportunity to score against Kremer, but they've struggled to generate runs themselves. All signs point to this being a quieter game on the scoreboard. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas Rangers versus Boston Red Sox. On Thursday, the Texas Rangers are set to head to Fenway Park for a matchup against the Boston Red Sox. These teams have each taken one of the first 2 games in the series, making this third one the decider. Boston has done a decent job defending their home turf so far, with a 10-9 record at Fenway this season. Texas, on the other hand, has had a rough time getting wins on the road, going just 6-11. The Rangers' offense has been all over the place this year, often struggling to find any rhythm. They'll be going up against Brayan Bello, who has given up only 1 earned run in 2 of his 3 starts, a solid sign for Boston. Texas will counter with Jack Leiter. He's had some okay outings, but got rocked for 6 earned runs in his last start against Seattle. I don't have a ton of confidence in either starting pitcher here, but Texas' lack of consistent offense makes it hard to take their side in this one. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boston Red Sox money line is our full game side pick. Boston has been a pretty steady team when it comes to scoring runs, especially at home and in early games. They're averaging just over 5 runs in those situations. They've also had some success against Leiter in past matchups, hitting .300 as a team. Leiter hasn't looked sharp since coming back into the rotation, and the bullpen behind him doesn't exactly inspire confidence. They rank right in the middle of the pack at 15th in earned run average. Meanwhile, Texas came into Wednesday swinging the bats well, putting up 14 runs over 2 games. They've actually handled Bello decently before, with a .315 expected batting average, .582 expected slugging, and .420 expected weighted on base average over 56 at-bats. Bello's advanced stats suggest a step back might be coming. His expected earned run average sits at 5.38, and opponents have an expected batting average of .280. He doesn't get many swings and misses either. The Red Sox bullpen that follows him isn't lights out either, ranking 17th in earned run average. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago White Sox versus Kansas City Royals. On Thursday, the Chicago White Sox head to Kauffman Stadium to take on the Kansas City Royals. It's another chance to watch 2 teams in very different spots, with Kansas City playing solid ball lately and the White Sox trying to stop the bleeding. The Royals have quietly been one of the better teams against the spread, especially at home. When they're home underdogs, they've covered nearly 67% of the time. They've also been reliable in non-division games, where they hit the spread about 59% of the time. On the flip side, the White Sox haven't come close to that kind of consistency. As road underdogs, they've only covered in just under 37% of their games. Kansas City has also been solid after a win, cashing in on the spread over half the time, while Chicago continues to sink after losses, failing to cover in 60% of those situations. We keep betting against the White Sox, and it keeps working. They've been one of the worst teams in baseball for the past 3 years, and nothing's really changed this season. Over their last 3 games, they've put up just 4 total runs. Even when Davis Martin pitches well, which he mostly has, it doesn't matter much. The White Sox have managed just 7 total runs in his last 4 starts. Meanwhile, the Royals are on a hot streak, losing only twice since April 20th. Chris Bubic has been a big part of that success, giving up just 9 earned runs over his last 41 innings. I keep saying it, but it still stands. I want no part of the White Sox. As our first pick for this matchup, the Kansas City Royals to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Martin's advanced numbers tell a rough story. He's got a 5.96 expected earned run average, a .317 expected batting average against, and ranks way down the charts in swing and miss stats, just the 10th percentile in whip rate, 14th in strikeouts, and 6th in hard hit rate. The Royals' offense is picking up steam too, scoring 30 runs across their last 6 games, which breaks down to 5 runs a night. Bubic, for his part, has some red flags. His expected earned run average is 1.64 runs higher than his real one, and he hasn't exactly dominated the White Sox in the past. If he exits early, Kansas City's bullpen could get tested more than they'd like. 4 of the Royals' last 5 games have gone under the total, including every game in this series so far. Altogether, the teams have combined for just 15 runs in those 3 matchups. Kansas City's pitching, anchored by Bubic's 1.98 earned run average, has been sharp, limiting opponents to a .229 batting average. Their bullpen's done a steady job cleaning things up late in games. On the other hand, Chicago can't seem to figure things out at the plate. They're averaging just 3.6 runs per game and have the worst team batting average in baseball at .217. 6 of their last 7 games have hit the under, and while their pitching has been okay, their offense just keeps coming up short. With both starters capable of keeping things in check, plus the Royals hitting the under in 62.5% of their home games and the White Sox scoring fewer than 3 runs per road game, it feels like another quiet day at the plate is coming. Both starting pitchers could be due for some regression, but this still shapes up as a low-scoring battle. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Tigers versus Colorado Rockies. The Detroit Tigers and the Colorado Rockies are set to square off on Thursday in the first game of a doubleheader. It's the kind of matchup that pits two teams heading in completely opposite directions. The Tigers are winning and gaining ground, while the Rockies are just trying to stay afloat. This will be the first look at how these two clubs stack up against each other this season. The Detroit Tigers have been quietly laying the foundation for a contending team over the past few seasons. Now, in 2025, all that groundwork seems to be paying off. They've got a real shot to make noise in the American League, especially with the American League Central not exactly being a powerhouse. This could be their breakout year. They're not just hoping to compete anymore, they're looking to make a real run. On the other side, Thursday's opponent, the Colorado Rockies, came into this season pretty aware of what they were up against. They knew it would be an uphill battle, and so far, that's exactly how it's played out. The losses keep piling up, and with not much in the pipeline in terms of young, game-changing talent, it's shaping up to be another long year in Denver. The struggles are real, and the future isn't looking much brighter. Since April 11th, the Rockies have only managed to win 3 games. That kind of skid makes it tough to pick them with any sort of confidence, no matter who they're playing. This game isn't an exception. Casey Mize has been lights out this season, giving up only 31 hits and 11 runs in 36.2 innings. He's been keeping the ball on the ground too, with double-digit groundouts in each of his last 3 starts. Meanwhile, Kyle Freeland has had a rough go of it, giving up 47 hits and 23 earned runs in 36.1 innings. At home, it's been even worse. He's got an 8.53 earned run average, and opponents are hitting .356 off him in 12.2 innings. Even with the Tigers off to a hot start, they're still just 10-10 on the road so far this season. But when it comes to recent history between these two, Detroit holds a slight edge, going 6-4 in their last 10 head-to-head matchups. Of those games, 4 have taken place in Colorado, and the Tigers walked away with wins in 3 of them. With a deeper lineup and a lot of momentum right now, it feels like Detroit is set up to take care of business again. This looks like a good spot for them to handle things cleanly. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Tigers money line is our full game side pick. When you look at the offensive numbers, these two teams aren't even in the same conversation. The Tigers are clicking, sitting 7th in the league in total runs scored. On the flip side, the Rockies are 28th in earned run average, which means their pitching hasn't been helping them out either. That combination makes this game a solid candidate for a high-scoring outcome. For Detroit, the total has gone over in 6 of their last 10 games, with 67 runs scored over that stretch. The Rockies are 4-6 to the over in their last 10, but they've given up 5 or more runs in 7 of those matchups. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.